let's start with the big question. Is it actually a problem if your child won't eat fish at all? The short answer is usually not as big a problem as parents fear. But if your child never eats fish, it's worth paying a little more attention to their overall diet to make sure they are still getting the nutrients that support healthy growth, brain development, and immunity. To understand why, let's look at what we are actually getting from the fish in the first place. First, fish is a good source of protein and iron. The good news? If your child eats meat, this is usually much less of a concern. But you can check out this video to make sure your toddler isn't showing signs of iron deficiency. Second, fish is one of the richest natural sources of vitamin D. But fortunately, this is one problem we have largely solved. In many countries, infants and toddlers routinely receive vitamin D supplements during the first years of life. And for older children, the need of additional vitamin D depends heavily on where you live, how much sunlight they get, and what their diet looks like. So that's something best discussed with your pediatrician. Third, fish is one of the main dietary sources of iodine, a nutrient that's absolutely critical for healthy brain development. For older children and adults, this is often solved simply by using iodized salt. But toddlers aren't supposed to eat much added salt. So what happens if they don't eat fish either? Here is the interesting part. Fish doesn't make iodine. It gets iodine from the marine food chain. And today, many farm animals receive iodine-enriched feed as well. As a result, foods like dairy products, eggs, poultry, and meat often contain iodine too. So if your child refuses fish completely, one practical thing you can do is make sure they are regularly eating other animal products that contribute iodine in the diet. This is always indicated on the packing. And now we come to the nutrient that is both the most important and the hardest to replace: omega-3. Here is the challenge. Roughly half of your child's brain is made up of DHA and EPA. These omega-3 fats are essential for healthy brain development during early childhood, and they are found almost exclusively in fish. So if your child never eats fish, where do those come from? Eggs, especially pasture-raised or omega-3 enriched eggs, are one of the few non-fish foods that contain meaningful amounts of DHA. Try to include them in your child's daily diet. Many children's dairy products, yogurts, and other foods are fortified with omega-3s. Quick tip: check the label for DHA and EPA specifically. A product that simply says omega-3 may only contain plant-based omega-3s, which don't provide the same benefits for the brain. But how much do fortified foods really help? They are a great way to boost omega-3 intake every day, but they are usually not enough to fully meet a child's needs if fish is completely off the menu. The amounts are often kept low to preserve taste and shelf life. So if your child isn't eating fish at all, a supplement may be worth considering. So at what age should children take an omega-3 supplement, and how do you choose one? If your child is no longer regularly receiving breast milk or infant formula, that's usually when parents start looking at supplements. For children ages 1 to 3, liquid omega-3 supplements are usually the easiest option. For children over 3, gummies or capsules can work well. Most importantly, don't focus on the total amount of fish oil. Check how much DHA and EPA the product provides and whether it covers a meaningful percentage of your child's daily needs. And now, remember that mistake I mentioned at the beginning? It's turning fish into a bottle. So, should parents keep fighting to get fish into their child's diet? My short answer: no fighting. Pressure is more likely to create a lifelong dislike of fish. Instead, keep offering it regularly and without pressure, and let your child see you enjoying fish yourself. Provide your child with essential nutrients from other foods and supplements, as we discussed today, and give it time. In the long run, that approach works much better. If you're wondering which strategies are actually worth trying, and which ones make things worse to help your child eventually learn to eat fish, or any other healthy food they're refusing right now, check out the video on your screen. But many parents eventually run into a bigger challenge. Their child starts refusing entire food groups. And surprisingly, that's not always a problem. In fact, many eating behaviors that worry parents are completely normal stage of development. How do you know when it's normal and when it's a red flag? That's exactly what we are talking about in the next video. See you there.